Alright, everyone settle in because today we are diving headfirst into something that keeps me up at night as a USMNT fan. We are talking about the absolute worst possible World Cup 2026 group scenario for the United States. I mean the kind of group that makes you want to pull your hair out before a single ball is even kicked. The World Cup on home soil is going to be an incredible spectacle, a truly once-in-a-lifetime event. For us here in the USA, we are guaranteed a spot as hosts, and we are even guaranteed a pot 1 seed, which sounds fantastic on paper, right? But let me tell you that pot 1 seed is not a shield against absolute footballing dread. It only guarantees one less monster in our group, but the other 3 pots can still deliver a brutal, soul-crushing draw. Today I want to break down what that nightmare scenario could look like team by team, pot by pot. We are going to explore the specific teams that would make our lives incredibly difficult and why they pose such a unique threat to the US men's national team. This isn't just about who's good, it's about who matches up poorly with us, who has a history of causing upsets, and who brings a style of play that could completely derail our World Cup dreams. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, because we are going deep into the tactical nightmares, the historical precedents, and the sheer footballing terror that could await the USA in 2026. This is a 60-minute journey into the heart of what could be a truly gut-wrenching World Cup experience. We need to prepare ourselves mentally for these possibilities because the draw is a lottery and sometimes you just pull the short straw. First, let's quickly understand the new World Cup format for 2026. It is expanding to 48 teams, which means we will have 12 groups of 4 teams each. The top 2 teams from each group will advance to the knockout stages, and then the 8 best third-place teams will also make it through. This expanded format might seem like it offers more breathing room, but a truly tough group can still make progression incredibly difficult. It might even mean we need to fight for one of those third-place spots, and that's a dangerous game to play. Now let's talk about the draw mechanics a bit more. The USA as a host nation is automatically placed in pot 1. This means we avoid other top-ranked teams like Brazil, Argentina, France, England, and Spain in the group stage. However, the rules also state that generally no 2 teams from the same confederation can be in the same group, with the exception of UEFA, which can have a maximum of 2 teams in one group. This is important because it limits some of our potential CONCACAF rivals from pot 4 but opens up possibilities for multiple European powerhouses. Let's start our nightmare journey with pot 2. This is where things can get incredibly spicy because pot 2 is typically filled with teams that are just outside the elite top tier but are still absolute world beaters. These are teams with deep talent pools, rich footballing history, and a proven track record of performing on the biggest stage. Drawing any of these teams would be a significant challenge, but some are just worse than others for our specific squad. My absolute number 1 nightmare draw from pot 2 has to be Germany. Think about it, Germany is a 4-time World Cup champion, a true footballing giant with an incredible legacy. While they have had a few recent wobbles, they are still a force to be reckoned with, especially when the stakes are highest. They are tactically sophisticated, incredibly disciplined, and possess a deep roster of world-class players. Their midfield dominance and clinical finishing could absolutely suffocate our young USMNT. Another terrifying prospect from pot 2 is the Netherlands. The Dutch always seem to be a dark horse contender, and they play a very structured yet fluid brand of football. They are physically imposing, defensively sound, and have dangerous wingers and strikers who can exploit any defensive lapse. Their experience in major tournaments and their ability to grind out results against top opposition makes them an incredibly difficult team to face. They always seem to find a way to make it deep into tournaments, and that's exactly what we want to avoid early on. Then we have Uruguay, a team that epitomizes grit, passion, and individual brilliance. They are two-time World Cup champions and always bring a ferocious competitive spirit to every match. With players like Federico Valverde and Darwin Núñez, they have incredible talent in key positions. And they play with a South American intensity that can be overwhelming. Facing Uruguay would be a physical battle, a true test of our mental fortitude and our ability to withstand relentless pressure. They are never an easy out and they thrive on being the underdog. Croatia, also from Pot 2, would be another incredibly tough draw. They have consistently overperformed in recent World Cups, reaching the final in 2018 and the semi-finals in 2022. Their midfield, especially with Luka Modric, is world-class, and they are incredibly resilient and tactically astute. They know how to manage games, how to absorb pressure, and how to strike at the opportune moment. Facing a team with that kind of tournament experience and big game mentality would be a massive hurdle for our relatively young squad. So if I had to pick one Pot 2 team that would cause me the most anxiety, it would probably be Germany. Their combination of historical dominance, tactical prowess, and the potential for a resurgence makes them a truly terrifying opponent. A match against Germany would be a litmus test for our team, but one that could easily end in a demoralizing defeat. They have the ability to dictate the tempo and punish any mistakes we make. Moving on to Pot 3, this is where things get even more interesting because these are teams that are often underrated but possess serious quality and the potential for major upsets. They might not have the same global recognition as the Pot 2 teams, but they are absolutely capable of beating anyone on their day. These teams often have one or two superstar players or a very cohesive team unit that makes them incredibly dangerous. My top nightmare pick from Pot 3 would be Serbia. They are a physically imposing team with a lot of height and strength, which could be a real problem for our often smaller and more technical players. They are dangerous from set pieces and have some incredibly talented individual players like Aleksandar Mitrovic and Dusan Vlahovic, who can score from anywhere. Facing Serbia would be a brutal physical encounter and a test of our aerial defense and ability to win duels in the midfield. They play a very direct style that can be hard to counter. Another incredibly difficult team from Pot 3 would be Ghana. African teams always bring an incredible level of athleticism, pace, and passion to the World Cup. Ghana specifically has a history of performing well, and they have incredibly fast wingers and midfielders who can exploit space. Their physicality and direct attacking style could overwhelm our defense, and their ability to transition quickly from defense to attack is always a threat. They play with an infectious energy that can carry them far. South Korea from Pot 3 would also be a very tricky draw. They are known for their relentless energy, their technical proficiency, and their never say die attitude. With a superstar like Son Heung-min leading the line, they have a genuine match winner who can create something out of nothing. They are incredibly organized defensively, and their ability to press high and maintain intensity for 90 minutes could really tire out our squad. They are a team that plays with immense pride and discipline. So if I'm thinking about the absolute worst Pot 3 draw for the USA, it's a toss-up between Serbia and Ghana? Serbia for their sheer physicality and set-piece threat, and Ghana for their athleticism and pace. Both teams offer a completely different but equally challenging style of play that could expose different weaknesses in our team. I think Serbia's directness and size might be a slightly bigger problem for us. Finally, we arrive at Pot 4. Now you might think Pot 4 teams are the easiest, but that's a dangerous assumption to make, especially in an expanded World Cup. These teams are often playing with nothing to lose and can pull off incredible upsets. Sometimes they are teams from smaller confederations who have fought tooth and nail to qualify, or they might be familiar regional rivals who know our game inside and out. These teams can be banana peels for even the biggest nations. My absolute worst nightmare draw from Pot 4 would be Canada. Yes, a fellow CONCACAF team and a North American rival. While we often get the better of them in qualifying and regional tournaments, a World Cup match on home soil would be an entirely different beast. They would be playing with immense motivation, national pride and a desire to prove themselves on the biggest stage. They know our players, our tactics and our tendencies, which makes them incredibly dangerous. A local derby in the World Cup is always a high-stakes affair, and Canada has some genuinely talented young players who can cause problems. Another very difficult team from Pot 4 could be Cameroon. African teams are always unpredictable, and Cameroon is a historic World Cup participant with a rich legacy. They bring a physical presence and an attacking flair that can be hard to contain. They are known for their moments of brilliance and their ability to cause chaos in a game. Facing Cameroon would be a test of our composure and our ability to handle an unpredictable opponent. They have a history of surprising bigger teams, and that's something we can't afford to overlook. Australia from Pot 4 would also be a tough out. They are incredibly organized, defensively resilient, and possess a fantastic fighting spirit. They might not have the individual star power of some other nations, but they play as a cohesive unit and are incredibly difficult to break down. They showed in recent World Cups that they can hold their own against top teams, and their ability to grind out results makes them a dangerous opponent. They never give up, and that can be frustrating to play against. So for Pot 4, the ultimate nightmare for me is Canada. The familiarity, the rivalry, the sheer motivation they would have playing in a World Cup in North America. It's a recipe for a truly tense and unpredictable match that could easily go either way. It would be more than just a game, it would be a battle for regional bragging rights and World Cup progression. Now let's put it all together. What does the USA's absolute nightmare group scenario for World Cup 2026 look like? USA from Pot 1, of course. From Pot 2, I am picking Germany. Their tactical superiority, historical weight, and potential for a return to form make them the ultimate challenge. They would be incredibly difficult to break down and would expose any defensive frailties we might have. From Pot 3, I am choosing Serbia. Their physicality, their set-piece threat, and their individual brilliance up front would be a constant headache. They would make every single duel a battle and would test our mental toughness to the absolute limit. And from Pot 4, I am going with Canada. The local derby, the intense rivalry, the familiarity, and their immense motivation to prove themselves on this stage. It would be a high-pressure game with emotions running high, and anything could happen. So our ultimate nightmare group for the USA in World Cup 2026 would be USA, Germany, Serbia, Canada. Let's just take a moment to really let that sink in. Imagine the headlines, the pressure, the sheer difficulty of navigating a group like that. Each game would be a monumental challenge, a true test of our squad's ability and resilience. This isn't just a tough group, it's a gauntlet. Why is this specific combination such a nightmare for the USA? First off, the tactical mismatches are glaring. Germany's midfield control and clinical finishing could easily dominate possession and create chances against us. Their experience in big games means they wouldn't buckle under pressure. They would exploit any space we leave in the midfield or defense. Then you have Serbia's raw physicality and aerial threat. Our defenders would be constantly challenged in the air and in one-on-one duels. Their ability to score from set pieces means we would have to be absolutely perfect defensively, which is incredibly difficult to maintain for 90 minutes. They would make it a very uncomfortable game. And finally, Canada brings that intense rivalry factor. They know us so well and would be playing with an incredible chip on their shoulder.